This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I'm just going to extend the time a few minutes, giving people a chance to join, and then we're going to go over a quick recap of some of the design functions that we've set up this week. And we're going to go over a couple new things today and open it up for Q&A. So we'll get started shortly. Just going to give those people an extra couple minutes to join. Hey, Debbie, how's your design coming along? Carolyn. Everyone's quiet today.
Sorry, I had my mic off. I was
No worries.
babbling.
How's your design coming along?
Well, I haven't done anything since yesterday. I've just been monkeying around trying this and that. The one thing I would really like to figure out is how you changed on your design the side panel that you turned red.
Yep. Okay, I can walk you through that. Side panel. Perfect. Okay, let's get the ball rolling. For those that join a little later, we can quickly do a quick recap if they have any specific questions. So this week we're focusing on designs within Command, and like most things in Command, you need to make sure your marketing profile is set up to optimize what it can do for you. So in the top right-hand corner is your name. You go to settings, and this is going to load up a whole bunch of applications you can connect to your Command profile. But we want to click on the left where it says connect settings and select marketing profile. It's the only thing that drops down when you select connect settings. And this is where your marketing profile lives. You want to make sure your photo is less than 1 megabyte and it actually is a square, because it'll get squished if it isn't. I've seen a few designs where the photos are squished or kind of tiling across one another because they're not the appropriate size. For the team logo and the Market Center logo, and I shared this out with everybody, it's okay in your settings for it to be a little squished here because it performs a little differently. And I'll show you on my website. You can see here the logos display nice and clean and they're oriented the way they should be, but in settings they're a little squishy. That's okay, as long as your photo is not squishy in your marketing profile. And from there, you're going to want to fill out all of the required fields. There's a little red star on the ones that are required: first name, last name. You don't need an agent license number, that's not required. The bio is not required, but I highly recommend that. And once again, I'll take the non-solicitation legal that I use and I'll put it in the chat room for everyone to copy and put in their marketing profile if they'd like. And then you have your social media links down below. Again, not requirements, but they're nice to have. And you just hit save. So that's just a very quick recap of setting up your marketing profile. Anyone have any questions about that whatsoever? You can ask with your mic on or enter it in the chat room. Nope, no questions? Okay, so that's the first step, not just to designs, but pretty much to all of Command, is to making sure your profiles are set up. From there, we're going to click on the designs icon. Again, you can click on the red square in the top left-hand corner and it'll give you a name of all the icons. The more you use it, the less you'll need it, because you're going to become more familiar with what these icons mean and where they are. So the pencil and rectangle, which symbolizes the paper, is going to be designs. We click on that. and it displays all of the designs that you have. Now, at the beginning of the week, you may have had nothing, but after following along and testing a few things out, I imagine you would all have some sort of icon or tile design in here. We use this top menu to sort your designs. So if I wanted to look at my landing pages, I'd click on landing pages and it displays nothing but 56 landing pages. Social media, print, my agent site, don't have any videos. Pretty straightforward. So in what I've done for this classes was I created a social media ad for Facebook. And to get to this point, in the bottom right-hand corner, I clicked on the plus icon in the circle. And email is an email campaign. That's something completely different. And social media and print is where we want to live. I've not created a video yet. That'll be another class as well. And the import PDF is also available in these sections. So I very rarely use it here. I use it within my designs. So I click on social and I click next. Give this a second to load. All right, so here are some designs and you'll see right off the bat, and I think Deb, it was you, may have pointed this out, that it said Instagram only. And that's because by default, on the left-hand side are the different, I guess, topics or categories you can use. So they have not designed Facebook advertising templates for your app, just Instagram. As soon as we click on listing for sale, you'll see Facebook, Instagram, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So there are 163 total designs for sale. There are 43 designs for just listed. And that's an accumulative number across all of these different platforms or templated sizes. So on the left, you select what you're looking for, like an open house, and then on this menu here, you decide which channel you're going to advertise it on. Facebook, Instagram. Instagram stories are different. It's more vertical. LinkedIn is very unique, not quite a square. And Twitter, again, is a unique size, just like Facebook is. Under contract, again, and in this list, there's quite a bit of templates for you to choose from, including where was it? Client Love, Business Basics, lead generation. There it is. Client Love, which is fantastic for everyone to use. Happy home anniversary or birthday. I love this cupcake with a candle, make a wish. That's a very popular one. So you can very easily create social media posts for your clients, brand it, and post it on their wall or on their timeline, wherever you choose to put it. And lastly, down below is new designs. They'll give you what's most recently been released, because if they release a design and it isn't being used that much, they'll remove it and they'll take people's feedbacks, comments, and suggestions and give you new designs here. Now, I'm curious, I'm part of leadership, so pivot, shift ahead. Does everybody have this, or is this something that I only have?
I have it. I'm just looking at it now.
Oh, this is fantastic. This was kind of what I was going to focus in on today. I was going to put an infographic together of numbers. So just like the KW app, they only have Instagram templates. Right, so how's the market? Global activity in the market. There we go. So this is fantastic. They've added a whole bunch of templates for us to pivot during the shift ahead. I'm going to come back and explore these in a little bit. I just want to point out, you have your library here. There's a library section when you get into a design, but this library is a little easier on the eyes. It has a white background. Once we go a couple layers deeper, I can demonstrate and show you that it gets a little wonky with a transparent background. But in here, you're going to upload your standard headshots or background images, something that you use quite frequently and you always want to have them within arm's reach. Same with your logos, icons, and your brand kit where you select specific colors and fonts. This is where you would set those up. So you would click use and it would load that template up for you to customize. And if you've done that and saved it, the reason why I exited out here was I already have one that I've been working on. So to get back to this design, I don't have to create the plus, select social, navigate through all those templates and find what I was working on. I simply double click that design icon and it's going to load my piece of work up for me. Okay, so we talked about grabbing an image, and I'm just going to use some stock images here. So when you have one selected, you can roll over an image here and click replace, and it drops it in to size. You can hit undo. You can do a frame like a star, grab an image here, drop it over, and it places it within the star, and you can change the size. Anything you like. If you don't like it, you press delete, and you're good to go. The text, you can double click on the text, highlight it, change it to whatever you like, right? You can, when you have the text highlighted, you can select fonts. There's all kinds of fonts, font sizes, the opacity. So that's if you want to fade your font a little bit so it's transparent. Change the color, bold, italic, underline, uppercase or lowercase only. You can do bullet points. This is where you would center it, left justified, whatnot. And here you have your line spacing, word spacing, and letter spacing. So this is something I haven't touched on until now, but this is great if you want to go with a smaller font and you want to spread the letters out, right? That's just an example of what you can do. So that tool is really nice to customize your font. So select all the font and click on spacing, and you can do line. So that's spacing in between. This is spacing in between the words, and this is spacing in between the letters. Okay. So as you're going along, you're going to click File and Save your document. Oh, also up here is where you would name your file, so you get to know and keep it organized. As you save your files, it's going to show you in this little clock all the different versions that you've had. So originally, if I go all the way down 3 days ago, this was the template we started out with, and this is what it ended up being.
Excuse me.
So, yeah.
Ryan, did your basic, you didn't use a basic template, did you?
Yes, I did. I used this template. Sorry. That's what I used.
Okay, so that's not even close. So how did you get those, the two photos in there?
Well, those were photos I just grabbed offline. So now I'm going to exit out real quickly of this because I don't want to change my design. I'm going to open up that same template and very quickly show you everybody what I did. Before I do that, I did skip something. You have, in addition to the templates, which I covered, you have My Designs. And this is where all of your designs will live. Oh, I may have erased my design. Let me just open this up real quickly and see if I can put it back. Okay, that is the way it is. That is the way it is. Use. Okay, file, save. Perfect. I just want to make sure that the thumbnail represents the accurate design. Let's have a quick look. Yep, there it is. Perfect. So in here, you can have all your designs. You can create folders. New folder, very similar to Google Drive. You can click and drag your designs up here. So I'm actually going to create a new folder called Command and Conquer. ads, click OK. So now that's going to show up here, and now I'm going to move this in here, and I can go into the folder, click on the 3 dots, and I can duplicate it. Okay, so now I have 2 of the exact same files. I'm going to open up one of them because I know I've got another version that I can rely on. And now I can change this. Maybe you've created a specific listing design that you really, really like, but now you need to update it with a new property and additional information. Well, you create a copy, make the changes, save it on as the new version, and you don't have to start from scratch. You have the design that you want and laid out the way you want it. That's the best use for the designs. Okay, so getting back to the templates, if I go, it was under buyer, I believe, neighborhood snap, Facebook. So this is the one I use. It just had a different photo of kids getting on a bus, but that's okay. So this entire design is one flat image. Okay. This is a separate text, this is a separate logo, this is a separate image, and this is a separate background box. So the first thing I did was change this image. So I wanted to add, and I grabbed an image that I downloaded off the internet. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to go with, here we go, the Proud KW Labber. So in the final design, I had that funky graphic with the screens kind of overlapping each other and they were skewed. So here I'm going to select a design that I download, an image that I downloaded offline. All right, so I'm going to go with the Proud KW Labber. I'm going to open it. It's going to load in my section here. So I select this image and I click replace, and it drops it. Oops, that was me clicking a couple extra times, but it drops the logo in there, and it's quite pixelated.
Yeah.
There we go. So it just needed some time to load. That's probably my internet. Now, one of the things that is important to note, in my original design, Deb, those screens had no background. So if you Google, what should I Google, folks? Give me some suggestions here.
You're looking at the background?
I want to think of an element that doesn't have a background. So coffee cup. I love coffee. So I'm going to do coffee cup. First, I'm going to spell it, and then I'm going to call it a PNG. So a PNG file has no background. So see this coffee cup here? If I open it in a new tab, what I want to find is a transparent background. So I'm just trying to illustrate something for everyone here. So here's coffee cup in a transparent background. Is this going to work for us? Let's see. So I'm grabbing an image. I'm curious, right mouse button press. It's not, they've got this website locked out. I apologize, folks. I'm just trying to find an image that's transparent, that doesn't have a background, because I want to illustrate something within the designs. So I'm going to go and show you here what where that image is. I just have it saved in a different spot. Yeah, that's the image. But see how there is no white background? That's what I'm trying to illustrate.
Yeah, okay, I see. So if you were having the coffee cup that just was the coffee cup.
Exactly. And I'm not sure why coffee is so challenging.
That one looks like it doesn't have a background. Go scroll up a little bit or go down. This one. Yeah, right here, it's looking down into the coffee cup.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a white background.
Oh, okay.
So the checkered background is from a design. Oh, you might be right. Save image as coffee. Perfect. So I'm going to go back into designs. I'm going to click add. I'm going to click this upload arrow. I'm going to go to my desktop and go for coffee. Perfect. Good call, Deb. That one doesn't have a background. So now I was able to find the image I wanted that didn't have a background, and I was just trying to illustrate that. So I'm going to replace this happy dog with the transparent background, and that's much too big of a file. So what I'm going to do is, I did it again, I double clicked. I'm going to remove this frame altogether. I'm going to select it. I'm going to press delete and select the box and delete. So now I've got this big empty space. I'm going to grab the coffee cup. I'm going to move it over. Okay. I'm going to shrink it down to that size. And now when I grab this black background and I grab this anchor point and move it up, see what happens?
Oh, cool.
Because I grabbed an image online that did not have a background, so it gives me a little more flexibility in my design now. So be aware of that when you're selecting images online to use. So for example, if I didn't do transparent and I grab, let's say, no, that one's clearly got a background to it. I grab this coffee cup. I think it's all great. It looks like it doesn't have a background. I save the image. It's going to save it as a weird file. 1 second. That was a bad example. Grab this one. Coffee 2, save. So now when I go into designs, I'm going to upload that second coffee cup. And now once it loads, see how it has the white background?
Mm-hmm.
So that when you're making your design, that's a little cooler, in my opinion. I mean, it all
Yeah.
depends on what you want to design. I think this looks cooler than, this looks like clip art that I've just dragged and dropped in. Right, so I grabbed an image of 2 command screens that had no background, and that's what I used for my design. And I just illustrated how I did that with this coffee cup example. Okay, I changed the logo by selecting the logo, and I have my logos for my marketing profile, and complete tech team logo is right there. Okay, and then I changed the text. And then remember, this white space is your friend on the outside. Like you want to grab something else, but you're in this text area, and it happens quite often within designs. You want to move one object and it moves the wrong one. You can always click on the white space, and that kind of, see how I double click there? That kind of clears whatever I've selected. So now my hands are empty, and I can select this once, and now I can drag the text box out, and the text reacts to the size of the text box that I've created. Okay. You can also click on the white space a couple times and go text and do a title. Okay. We're going to make the font. We're going to go to our library and go with the red. A little Homer Simpson type quote there for everyone.
That's my kind of design.
Exactly. Now your question was, how did I get this design the way I wanted to with the red background in those images? So if I could very quickly, just so everybody can have a reference here. Design webinar. I'm going to grab this, move it off to the side for a second, and now I'm going to bring everything back. So you wanted to see how I turned this into this, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
'Cause I think you did that after hours, didn't you?
I did. I was just tinkering around with it, and I kind of got on a roll, and I wanted to run with it. So first thing I did was I removed this flat image. I just deleted it,
Okay.
removed the image box. So now I have this space, and I went to shapes. I clicked on a square, and it dropped it in the center of my design. I moved it into the top left-hand corner, giving it a white border, right? So I'm going to zoom in so you guys see what I'm talking about. I did not put my square right to the edge. I liked giving it a little white border, and because I'm using this negative space. Okay, zoom back out. And then I grabbed the corner and I moved it to the right until I roughly by eye had the same white border. And then I grabbed the anchor point and moved it down again to the, not to the edge, but giving it a bit of a white space. So there's a break between this section of the design and this section of the design. The next thing I did was select the item and I changed the color. There's the background. Then I went to frames. I grabbed a circle. I went to my library and I dragged my image over the circle, and there I was. Gonna give that a second to load. And I grabbed the corners and I shrunk it down. Now, another thing you can do, and I didn't have to do this, but I learned it afterwards. If you want to alter the image inside here, remember the reposition that we've gone over a couple times? You have to explode the sticker, click yes. And now when I click on this image, it gives me this option to reposition my photo. Not cooperating with me right now, but that is how you would do it. And you could even do opacity and other options.
And excuse me, sorry.
Go ahead.
Could you run by how you put your picture in there again, please? Like, I'm trying to do it over here and
Okay. So you click on frames, right?
okay.
You have frames in front of you.
Yeah.
I grabbed this, I just clicked on the circle once and it dropped it in the middle of my canvas. Then I grabbed the,
Oh,
go
you
ahead.
just, oh, I see, because I was trying to drag it.
No, you
Oh.
drag the photo over top of the circle. When I'm not in the circle, see how it's moving around into different sections? You
Okay.
want to drag it over top of the circle and then let go,
Okay.
and then it processes it. I shrink it down, and I drop it over.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Sorry to be a pest.
No, don't have to say sorry, it's all good. And now for, come back here. For this bottom section, I already had this graphic created. So I just uploaded it. Is it still in here? No, it isn't. So I would go upload and there's CTV and online is what it's. So there's that graphic. And again, this is another example that it's transparent.
And is that through file?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Okay.
I clicked add, I clicked on this little upload arrow, and I grabbed the next image that I want to use in my design.
Okay.
And I just drag it over. It dropped in, it's going to take a second to load. It's much too big, so I'm going to scale it down by grabbing the corner. And I'm just going to play with it until it fits in the area that I want. And as I'm doing this, I noticed something, and I'm going to zoom in to illustrate this. My red box has a border around it, and I don't like that. So I select on the box, and up here is the stroke color. So the border is called stroke. So you could go in and you could make it white, or you could go to stroke, because you can pick different designs, checkered, dash, or whatnot. Just drag it down to 0, and that removes the stroke completely. And there's my online training icon, which looks good. Any questions to this point? Oh, okay. So now the next thing was the date and the hosted by. Right? If we remember, get rid of that. Right, so we see April 13th to 17th and the time and the hosted by. So for that, I went into text and I clicked on banners. There are all kinds of banners we can use down the left-hand side. I grabbed the yard sale banner because I like the look of it, and I dropped it in. Now, I wanted to go in and do more than just change the font. So if I go in here and select yard sale, click outside, I've gone a couple extra clicks. There we go. I type in April, I select the font, and up here I change the color. Template colors, white. Now it's not working for me, and I believe this is also what happened to me before. That's because this entire design is locked together. If I go over here, I can grab coffee, and that text box moves for me. If I go over here to grab April, everything moves. That's because we grabbed this design from the left, and it's all locked together. We want to blow this sticker up so that we can customize each individual little section of it. And that's done by clicking this link here that says explode sticker. Yes, I'm sure I want to do it. Now, April's by itself, main beach, the date, and even the box behind it, those are all separate objects that I can now select. So I'm going to go with April, select white, and there you go. Now the text is white. Double click on the date, date here, whatever dates you want. And then for this section, oops, I did not mean to turn that on an angle. For this section on main beach, I did not like the font. So I went up here, I selected something a little cleaner that I wanted. I changed the font size, I changed the font color, and that's much too small. And then I put in the time here. Make sense?
Okay.
Right, so now this is starting to look a lot more, oops, a lot more like this design. Obviously, you see I spent a little bit more time. I spread out the lettering of April.
Yeah.
And right, now last was the hosted by TechRye. And again, that was from the left. I was scrolling around and I think it's further down here, autumn collection. And I did the exact same thing. I blew up the sticker so I could go in and customize it. All right. And there you go.
Nice. Good. Thank you.
My pleasure. Annette, does this bring you back to your Photoshop and Illustrator days?
Yeah, you know what, Ryan, I must say, you know my background, and you have done this. I must say I'm very impressed with the program. Very impressed.
Yeah, they've made it very user friendly.
Very user friendly. I mean, and all the good design, even like, the kerning and the lettering of the letters and all of those little things that we, of course, get very picky about because that's what we want to do. I must say it's really good. And I'm now doing a little bit of the Canva, and I like the Canva too, but I like this even better. There's a lot of very good things design-wise with the program. There are a few other things that I still think they need to work on, but that is something else. But for design-wise, I think whoever they got on there, they have somebody there who knows what is going on with design. So yeah,
That's awesome to hear.
I love it. I love
awesome to hear. To that point, one of the things that design does that Canva doesn't do is it allows you to upload PDF and Photoshop documents and vector files. So you can upload an existing PDF and it blows it up, kind of like we did with the exploding the sticker. It will take that flat design and make it into movable parts and pieces.
Yeah, no, it's really really good. So in that sense, I'm very happy with this.
Nice. So one of the things that I wanted to show everybody, unless we have more questions about how I got to this design, if anybody does, please let me know. Oh, fantastic question by Sam. If you don't click save, it does not auto save for you. So make sure you save your file. Thank you, Sam. That's a fantastic question. I appreciate that. So you want to make sure as you're going along, because I'm more familiar with this and I was able to fly through things quickly. If you're working on blowing up the sticker and this took you 10 minutes to do, the second you have it the way you want it, file, save. You can save it as many times as you want. And like I showed in the previous design, you can go back and load any saved version that you have. So when you accomplish something in your design, a big step in your design, make sure you save it. Okay. So I believe that was it for questions that we may have had here for this design. Some back noise there. So what I wanted to show everybody was I'm going to delete everything here. I'm going to select and drag. I'm going to click delete, select all this. So I have a raw canvas that I know is the size for Facebook. And I just wanted to kind of illustrate some of the other things you could do outside of the design templates that I think would be beneficial to everybody. And we kind of stumbled across it at the beginning. I wanted to show you how you can create an infographic of statistics and numbers. Everyone gets these numbers and information from the board, but you can take that data and that information and lay it out in a way that you want and create a template. So I could take a shape here and I'm going to give this all a background. So here's a big red square. I'm going to bring it up to the corner and I'm going to drag it all the way out. So now my entire document has a red background to it. I'm going to grab another shape, and this time I'm going to use the square with the rounded corners because I like that. Oh, I've never noticed this. You can do animals shapes. That's amazing. Arrows, electronics. I didn't know these existed. This is fantastic stuff. So you have a whole flow chart, math. There's all kinds of graphics that you can use in here. Symbols, web, miscellaneous. These are great. I had no idea these were here until just now. And that's an extensive list. All right, so I'm gonna go back to basic. I'm just gonna grab this. Oh, I may have done it twice. Yep, because it's in red. There it is. I'm gonna change this to white. There we go. So I'm gonna create a box that big. I'm gonna go up here to duplicate because I want a whole bunch of boxes that are the same. And I'm just gonna duplicate a whole bunch. Okay, so I'm gonna put a box here, and you don't have to spend time lining it up because I'm gonna show you a couple tricks on that. So here are 6 boxes. So I'm gonna select this, this, and this by holding down Shift. Okay, so you select one, hold Shift, click on another, and another, and now that's selecting all of them in a group. I'm gonna go to Arrange, and I'm gonna center them vertically. So now they're all the exact same, they're all lined up vertically together. I'm going to do the same thing down here. And I'm going to arrange. Oops, I did not mean to duplicate. I'm going to grab these. Going to arrange vertically. That's the way I want it. So now I'm going to grab this and this. I'm going to arrange. I'm going to match it on the left-hand side. Perfect. I'm going to grab this, hold down Shift and click on this box. So now I'm very quickly cleaning up my design. Okay, this and this, I'm going to arrange on the left. Now what I'm doing here when I'm moving this to the right, I'm still holding down Shift. So it keeps it in a straight line, or vertically, it'll go up, or on a proper angle, it'll go up. But holding down Shift, you can see how it's kind of jumping around. If I let go of shift, it floats in any direction. Holding shift, moving left to right means it stays in the same area. So there we go. So now I have 3 icons or 3 rectangles that I want. I can go in text. I'll do subtitle, and I'm going to do 65%. I don't even know what that number represents, but you're going to have your statistics that you want. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to click outside. I'm going to go back to shapes. Now that I know this exists, I'm going to do arrows. Right, and this arrow is on the rise. Squeeze this down. I'm going to change the color to green. Click apply. So, and then I go back to text and body text, and I might put something else in here like listings. Okay, let's say I'm talking about listings. So listings are at 65%. I'm just making these statistics up, but you get the idea. You can make little infographic squares, right? And then from there, you can go to My Library, do a frame, circle, just like we did before. Drag that icon over. Click on logos. Click on text. Weekly market update. And you get the idea, does everybody get the idea what I'm creating here? I'm creating a Facebook infographic where I could save this as a template, and every week I can come in and change the numbers and give it the appropriate arrow if it's going up or down, and I could post this online. And if you wanted to get, well, before I get really crazy, anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns about what I've thrown together just now? I heard someone take a screenshot.
That was me.
So this is pretty cool and very useful information. But if we want to get a little crazier, we want to spend a little more time on this, I'm going to delete these white boxes, at least those ones. I'm going to go into text and banners. I'm going to let this load up, and I'm going to grab a different banner that I think is a little more eye-catching than a white background. So I'm going to look for something that I think might work for what I'm putting together here. I already saw one. I just wanted to make sure and check. So I like this one. So it says sale, fill color, fill color, fill color. So we're going to go white, see what that changes. Oh, so now you can see how I'm changing. Oops, I don't want to do that one. I'm changing some of these. Perfect. All right, sale. And now this background color, I'm going to make gray. Okay. This text, I'm going to zoom in here. Now we can see 50% off is, I'm going to delete the background for a second. Oops, did not mean to do that. I'm going to delete the red background. So you can see what we're working with there. The font is red. It just happens to be that way, and our background is red. So in order for me to go in and change this, I'm going to have to blow up. I'm going to have to explode my sticker. So now I can go into change the color of this font much easier.
Oops.
I love hearing the pictures. Okay, so we're gonna do listing. We'll do this. 65%. I'm gonna change 50% off to listings. So now I can grab this. I'm holding down Shift to select all the elements that I have. I believe if I right click, I can lock movement, layer order. Lock movement means it can't be, didn't mean to do that. So now if I hold down Shift, I grab my elements. I've accidentally locked my, I've somehow locked my movements. I'm gonna copy. Try something here. All right, that should do it. So now I can unlock my movement. So now I should be able to move it around. So that was me getting a little too fancy. And I accidentally locked those graphics in place so that they can't be moved. But you get the idea of what I've created here, a nice graphic other than a square with an arrow going up. Listing 65% on the rise. And if I didn't make the mistake of locking it, we'd be able to copy it and let me see if I can copy and paste it. Cut, no. Yeah, I think I've messed this up pretty good. I think everybody would agree. I'm just gonna delete it. Go back to text, banners, there it is. That actually looks pretty decent right there. So I'm just simplifying it because I'm learning with everybody, as you can tell. On the rise, spell the correctly, Ryan. Okay, so that better illustrates my point of creating something a little more eye-catching. So listing 65% on the rise, you could grab the arrow, put it in the corner if you wanted to. If you want to get really crazy with some little icons, change the color to the same red. If it was on the decline, you could put an arrow in the bottom corner dropping down. And so if I click Shift on that, and that, now I can move everything all around. I can duplicate it and then make this statistic about something else. So instead of listings, maybe it's days on market, whatever you want. And I've just grabbed a design off. I mean, you could grab this trendsetter one if you wanted to. It already has a cool background shape to it. Play around with it, make it your own. I'm just trying to illustrate that you can start from a blank canvas and make something really cool, save it as a template, and update it on a weekly, daily, or monthly basis. What does everyone think about that? Was that something?
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Cool. I'm glad. Anybody have any designs they'd like to share?
I'm not sure if you are going to get to it today or maybe another time because this is designs. There is a really nice, cute little video available. I know there's only one, but it has some good information. If you have time, maybe you want to share.
I know the one you're talking about, or the neighborhood statistics.
Yeah, that
Okay.
one. It's a really good one because you get the numbers straight away, and I think it's very usable and it's cute.
Perfect. Yes. So I'm gonna jump into that in a moment because that's relatively quick. Don Simpson, we were talking the other day, and I believe you had a question. I told you to join Command and Conquer for me to address it. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what that is. If you want to turn on your mic or put it in the chat. Dawn might not like the spotlight, or she could be up making a coffee, who knows. So those videos, Annette, I believe this, I know there are different sections within Command you can create it, but I believe this is what it might be here. So let's find out. I've never actually, yeah. So fantastic question. And this is something everybody can do, which is very easy. You don't need to design anything. All you need to do is know how to type on a keyboard. That's it. So we're going to click on the plus sign, click on videos, click next. We're going to select a neighborhood. So I'll do Hill Park. Give that a second to search. And Hill Park. So it's pulling a lot of neighborhoods. So I might do comma Hamilton, see if that helps. Comma Ontario. There it is, Hill Park, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. All right, so you see what I did to narrow down the search results to the neighborhood I wanted. So now I'm going to select Hill Park. It's got a little check mark, and I click next. And it automatically pulls up statistics on that neighborhood. So name, Hill Park, average home price. And you can, don't worry about the US dollar because it's not going to display that. It's just going to have a dollar sign. It's automatically saying it's on the rise. You can change it. Average price per square foot. Average price per square foot is holding steady. Number of homes for sale. Average days on market. So you can update these statistics if you have more accurate numbers. You have the ability to go in and change all of this. The next thing you have is neighborhood features. So there's a list that you can select from. So let's say it's politically engaged, they're outdoorsy, they're artsy, and they have civic engagement. All depending on what you select, you're going to get different graphics within the actual video that it's going to create from you. So play around with this, make a couple videos and see what graphics load up based on what you select. Underneath, if you filled out your marketing profile correctly, you don't have to touch this. Your agent information is all there. Your market center brokerage and information is all there. Okay, so once again, if you filled out your marketing profile well in advance, all you have to worry about is neighborhood information and the 3 features. Click next, please fill all fields. What am I missing? License number. I'm just going to put a dash. I guess in this specific section, it is a requirement. And it says up to 10 seconds. It could take up to a minute, but it's going to quickly create the video for me. And hopefully everyone was following along. You can see how quick that is. Now I'm going to hit play. Just because I'm showing a video through an online presentation, it might be a little bit choppy, but I assure you it runs very smooth. And I don't know if you can hear the music or not. The date, the average home price, the average price per square foot, number of homes for sale, days on the market, average. And here's what locals had to say about Hill Park. And this is the 3 categories that are outdoorsy, artsy, and civic engagement. You can see it has specific graphics for that. It gives you a summary in a cool layout. And the call to action. Pretty amazing, very easy, and you can really fly through the design. What does everybody think about that? And were you able to hear the music?
No.
Okay, so it's a light guitar sound. Go ahead and create one on your own. The music's the same for all of them. It's pretty cool. And now that I don't think I hit save, I think I may have exited out too quick. I did. Otherwise, the video would be here for me to grab, and you can download it and share it. You can email it. You can put it on social media, whatever you like. So that was a very quick hour, folks. We covered quite a bit in the summary and the video. I love the questions, especially the one about it saving along the way. So that was a fantastic question. Thank you for that, Sam. Does anybody have any other questions, comments, concerns before we wrap this up?
I was just wondering, what were you planning to do next week? And are you doing it Monday or Tuesday?
I believe Friday is tomorrow's the holiday. Monday is not the holiday, is it?
I think everybody has holidays on Monday, Friday and Monday, according to the Ontario government, but I'm not sure. That's up to you and Dan, I guess. But it doesn't matter what day it is. Just what were your plans to do next week? That's what I want to know.
I'm committed to you guys every day of the week. So I will be doing class on Monday, whether it's a holiday or not. For those that want to join, I will be there. And we're
Okay.
doing Facebook campaigns and automating the lead follow-up.
Okay,
And
I like that.
just created this fun little, I posted this just the other day.
Yeah.
As well as, that's the wrong folder, design webinar. I created this and posted it as well in both Niagara and Hamilton and on my page.
Mm-hmm.
So 13th to 17th. I've advertised Monday, so I'm going to be there.
Facebook. Okay,
My
good.
pleasure. So thank you everybody for joining. I hope you had fun learning your designs and you're now a master. If you have any questions, I'm always here during Command to Conquer at the same day, every weekday and same time. For those of you that may have joined for the next session with Sandy, just so you know, I do have to exit this and restart it just for attendance purposes between the classes. So you're going to be asked to rejoin. You're going to have to rejoin if you're here for Sandy's class. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Have a
Ron.
great, my pleasure.
Take
Have
care,
a
Ryan.
great day.
Thanks.
See you Monday.